Hello and welcome to TD's Pokemon Lair. I'm TD and this is the Lair. Today we're unboxing a box of 10 Pokemon cards that's into PSA. Got them back in this box, nice and packaged well, so they got here safe and sound. Let me get them out of the box and we'll see what grades I got. Alright, let's go. Hey, it's a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Erika's Paris, a first edition, the number 71 card. Looking at the front of this card, the graphics are bright and crisp. The surface has no damage like creases or bends. Looking at our centering from left to right, I think it's slightly towards the left, and our centering from top to bottom looks like it's within the tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, I do not see any damage at all. Taking a look at the back of the card, our surface is free of any creases, bends, or any other damage to the graphics. Our centering from top to bottom, I think is slightly towards the top, and centering from left to right looks a little towards the right. And looking at our corners and our edges, I think there's some slight damage maybe to that lower right corner. And we're going to get a grade of mint 9. I like it. That's a great grade. We are looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Giovanni's Machop, a first edition, the number 72 card. Looking at this front of this card, the graphics are nice and crisp and bright. There's no damage like creases or bends to the surface of the card. Our centering from left to right, I think, is close to the tolerance, as do I to the centering from top to bottom. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think they are free of any damage. Looking at the back of the card, you can see that our surface is clean and has no scratches, creases, or bends. Looking at our centering from top to bottom and left to right, I think those are all within the tolerances. Looking at our corners and our edges, that upper right corner has some slight damage. And they're going to give us a grade of mint 9. That's not too bad. Check out this 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Giovanni's Magikarp, a first edition, the number 73 card of the set. The front surface is bright and clean. There's no creases or bends or any other problems with the card. Looking at our centering from left to right and top to bottom, it's slightly towards the left a little bit. Top to bottom looks really good. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think they have no damage that will affect a grade. As we look to the back of the card, we'll start with our surface. It is free of any creases, bends, or any other damage to the graphics. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's towards the left quite a bit, and our centering from top to bottom, I think, is within the tolerance. Looking at our corners and edges, that upper right corner has some slight damage. And that's going to get us a grade of mint 9. That's pretty darn good. Hey, look at this 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Giovanni's Meowth, a first edition, the number 74 card of the set. Looking at the front graphics, they're very bright and clean. Our surface is free of any creases, bends, or any other damage to the surface. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's slightly towards the right, and our centering from top to bottom, I think, is within the tolerance. Looking at the corners and our edges, I do not see any damage at all. Let's gander at the back of the card, and we'll start with the surface. It is free of any creases, bends, or anything like that. No damage to the surface. Our centering from left to right, I think, is slightly towards the left. Our centering from top to bottom looks like it might be within the tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, there's some slight damage on that upper left corner. And Meowth will receive a grade of mint 9. That's not too shabby. We are looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Giovanni's Nidoran, a first edition, the number 75 card of the set. Looking at the front of this card, the graphics are very clean. There's no scratches, creases, or bends on the surface of the card. Our centering from left to right and top to bottom, I think, is all within the tolerances. And our corners and our edges are free of any damage. Flipping the card over and looking at the back of it, you can see that our centering from left to right and top to bottom, I think, is within all the tolerances. Looking at our surface, it is free of any creases or bends or any other scratches. Looking at our graphics, they're bright and crisp. Looking at our corners and our edges, the upper right corner and I think the upper left corner have some slight damage. And that's going to get us a grade of mint 9. Man, those 9s are nice. This card is a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Giovanni's Nidoran, a first edition, the number 76 card of the set. Looking at the front of this card, it looks really clean. There's no problems on the graphics. Our surface is free of any creases, bends, or any other damage. Looking at our centering from left to right and top to bottom, I think it's all within the tolerances. When you're looking at our corners and our edges, if you look at the upper edge above the word Giovanni's, you can see that the edge has a slight rollover. Flipping the card over and looking at the back, our centering from top to bottom, left to right, I think it's all within the tolerance. Our surface is free of any creases, bends, or any other damage. Our graphics look nice and bright and clean. Looking at our corners and our edges, our upper right corner looks like it has some slight damage. And we're going to get a grade of near mint, mint 8. That's not too bad. You are looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Koga's Ekans, a first edition, the number 77 card of the set. Looking at the front of this card, you can see the graphics are nice and bright. Our surface has no creases, bends, or scratches. Our centering from left to right is towards the right. Centering from top to bottom, I think, is within the tolerance. Looking at the corners and edges, I do not see any damage. Let's look at the back of the card, and our surface is free of any creases, bends, or any other damage. Looks very clean. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's towards the left a little bit, and centering from top to bottom, I think, is within the spec. Looking at our corners and our edges, the upper right corner has some slight damage. And that will provide us a grade of mint 9. Man, I'll take those 9s every day. Here is a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Koga's Grimer, a first edition, the number 78 card of the set. Looking at the front of this card, I love the graphics on this card. They're clean. Looking surface, there's no scratches, creases, or bends. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's towards the right a little bit, and our centering from top to bottom, I think, is within the spec or tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, I do not see any damage. Let's look at the back, and we'll start with our centering from left to right. It's towards the left a little bit. Centering from top to bottom, I think, is within tolerance. Our surface is free of any creases, bends, or scratches. Our graphics look nice. Looking at our corners and our edges, the upper right corner has some slight damage. And we'll receive a grade of mint 9. That's awesome. I'll take it. We are looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Koga's Coughing, a first edition, the number 79 card of the set. The front surface of this card is free of any creases, bends, scratches, or any other damage to the graphics. Our centering from left to right is towards the right a little bit. Centering from top to bottom, I think, is within the specification. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think they are free of any damage that I can find. We are looking at the back of the card now, and surface is free of any creases, bends, or any other damage that will affect the grade. Looking at our centering from left to right and top to bottom, I think those are all within the tolerances. Looking at our corners and our edges, there's some slight damage on that upper right corner. And we'll receive a grade of mint 9. I like it. It could have been just better if that corner wasn't having any damage. Check out this 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Koga's Pidgey, a first edition, the number 80 card of the set. The graphics are very bright. There's no scratches, creases, or bends on the surface of this card. Our centering from top to bottom and left to right, I think, is all within the tolerances. And our corners and our edges seem to be free of any damage. The back of the card looks pretty clean. The surface is free of any creases, bends, or any other damage like scratches. Our centering from top to bottom and left to right, I think the left to right looks pretty good. Top to bottom, I think, is slightly towards the top. Looking at the corners and our edges, the upper right corner has some slight damage. And we'll receive a grade of mint 9. I like it, and I'll take it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the cards I presented. Please like and subscribe, and always remember, you got to catch them all. Have an awesome day.